The night of May 14, 2008, was deeply dark in rural Minnesota. The only light came from the moon and a distant farmhouse window. Silence ruled the prairie until a single fateful phone call shattered it. A young man, Brandon Swanson, found his car stuck in a ditch on a gravel road. Not a crisis, just an inconvenience. He called his parents, Annette and Brian Swanson, waking them from sleep. "Mom? Dad? I ran my car into a ditch." Calm, routine at first. Brandon was coming home from a party near the town of Lind. His parents got in their car, keeping him on the line as they drove out to find him. But as the minutes passed, unease crept in. The darkness pressed in, turning familiar fields into a maze. The 47-minute call became a lifeline, filled with mundane details and the sounds of the night, gravel crunching, wind in the grass. At the end, a sudden exclamation, "Oh shit!" And then, nothing. The line went dead. Silence returned, heavier than before. For the Swanson family, that silence has never truly ended. What began as a simple call for help became the start of a haunting mystery. The darkness of that night swallowed more than just the landscape. It swallowed answers, too. A son vanished, and a family's world changed forever. The call in the night still echoes across the Minnesota prairie. It's a story that begins with the ordinary and ends with the unknown. And for those left behind, the questions have never faded. The search for Brandon Swanson began with a phone call, and it has never truly ended. Who was Brandon Swanson? Before the mystery, he was a 19-year-old from Marshall, Minnesota. A son, a brother, a friend, reliable, quiet, with a dry sense of humor. He loved cars and was studying wind turbine technology. He wasn't a risk-taker. He knew these roads well. The night he disappeared, he was celebrating the end of his first year of college with friends. He'd had a drink or two, but friends said he was sober when he left. Brandon was just a good kid, looking forward to sleeping in his own bed. His life was ordinary, his future bright. The landscape of southwestern Minnesota was his home. Fields, gravel roads, small towns. That's what makes his disappearance so chilling. No warning signs, no troubled past, just a car sliding off a wet road and a young man vanishing into the night. It could have been anyone's son. Sometimes the ordinary world can suddenly give way to the unknown. After the party in Canby, Brandon got into his green Chevrolet Lumina for the 30-mile drive home. The route should have been simple, State Highway 68. But for reasons unknown, he ended up on confusing gravel back roads. Maybe a wrong turn, maybe just enjoying the drive. Rain had left the roads muddy, and his car slid into a ditch. The car wasn't damaged, just stuck. Brandon was calm, uninjured, and called his parents for help. He believed he was near Lind and gave directions. His parents drove out, keeping him on the phone, expecting to find him easily. But the roads were empty. Minutes stretched into an hour, and confidence faded. Brandon's calm voice became their only guide in the darkness. The search for him was just beginning. What seemed like a minor mishap was about to become a nightmare. The long road home had taken a turn into the unknown. The phone call between Brandon and his father, Brian, lasted 47 minutes. As they drove, they tried to pinpoint his location. "Can you see our lights?" "No." "Can you see the town?" "Yes, I see the lights." Brandon said he was walking toward the lights, near water, passing fences and fields. He stayed calm, determined to solve the problem himself. Brian urged him to stay put, but Brandon kept moving. The call was filled with the sounds of footsteps on gravel, the wind, the tension rising. Every minute hope faded as they failed to find each other. The phone was their only link in the darkness. Then at 2:27 a.m., Brandon's voice turned sharp. "Oh shit!" The line went dead. Brian called back, no answer. The lifeline was cut. In that instant, a simple search became a nightmare. Something had happened, but no one knew what. The darkness swallowed Brandon's voice. The 47-minute call became the heart of the mystery. It was the last anyone ever heard from Brandon Swanson. The silence that followed was absolute. For his family, it has never lifted. The search for answers had only just begun. With the call severed, fear took over. Brian and Annette called the police and the search began, focused near Lind, where Brandon said he was. Deputies and volunteers scoured the area, but found nothing. No footprints, no car, no sign of Brandon. Hours passed and hope faded. Then, a breakthrough. Brandon's car was found, nowhere near Lind but by the Lincoln County line over 20 miles away. The lights he'd seen were likely from Taunton, not Lind. The search had been in the wrong place all morning. Now, with the car as a starting point, a new search began. The car was locked, Brandon's glasses inside, no sign of struggle. Only tracks leading away from the car, into the fields. No blood, no evidence of foul play, just a trail into the darkness. The landscape offered no answers. The search grid shifted, but the mystery deepened. Brandon had vanished, leaving only questions behind. The wrong place had cost precious time. The right place offered only silence. With the car found, search dogs traced Brandon's scent for 300 yards, through fields, across a road, to the Yellow Medicine River. There, the trail vanished. The leading theory: Brandon, disoriented, fell into the swollen river and was swept away. His final exclamation may have been the moment he slipped. Despite extensive searches, no trace was ever found. Some suspect foul play, but there's no evidence. Others wonder if he found shelter and succumbed to the elements, or if he chose to disappear, though his family rejects that idea. Theories abound, but all circle back to the same point: no evidence, no answers. The silence in the case has allowed speculation to grow. The only certainty is the abrupt end of the trail at the water's edge. The mystery remains unsolved. The echo of that final phone call lingers, and the questions refuse to fade. Brandon's disappearance exposed a flaw in how missing adults were treated by law enforcement. His parents faced delays and bureaucracy when every second counted. Determined to help others, they lobbied for change. Their efforts led to Brandon's law in 2009, requiring immediate searches for missing adults in dangerous situations. The law became a model for other states, a legacy born from tragedy. It ensures Brandon's name is remembered for more than his disappearance. Yet, the central mystery remains. Where is Brandon Swanson? What happened after that final desperate moment? His family still searches, holding on to hope. For the rest of us, his story is a haunting reminder of how quickly the familiar can become unknown. A single moment can leave a lifetime of silence, and the echo of that night still lingers on the Minnesota prairie.